I got started playing the drums as a little drummer boy in the school play when I was in first grade. I was the only kid in school that could go dump, da 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 dump, da 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 dump, da 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 over and over again without messing it up. So I got the gig. How I got started in the band business, you all might remember Lenny Gartner and the S2 group and the Radicals and some of those bands. Well, his house was a hangout because he had a bunch of good-looking sisters. And we were all over there hanging out one night, and the thing was set up. They were ready to rehearse, and Lenny calls up and said, "I just quit and joined another band." So somebody said, just jokingly, I guess, "Does anybody here can play the drums?" And I said, "I can." So I got behind the set and did a little ventures type of deal. Went around the horn and then into a beat. And I got the job. So I became the drummer for the Dantes. And then they found out that I could sing. And so I started singing for them. And this was before I knew about boom mics. So I had my vocal mic come up between my legs. And I played like that. And I did that for, I don't know, we worked a few years together. And then I went on and moved to a couple of different groups. And then the next noticeable thing was a soul band that we put together. And it ended up with the four guys that started Balderdash. And then once again, Lenny Gartner rears his ugly head and says, "Hey, I need a backup band. All the S2 group guys quit." So we joined him en masse and became his backup band. So we were the S2 group. But on the side, we were still playing soul music, and we were gradually drifting into what became Balderdash. Soul music with longer and longer solos and longer tunes. And then we started bringing blues and jazz into the mix. And then finally we got to the point where we told Lenny that we were ready to go out on our own. So we split from Lenny and became Balderdash. That was about 1968 or 9. And how we got the name was we were all Sherlock Holmes junkies. And we would watch those late movies on the weekend. That was the only night you had late night TV back in those days. And Dr. Watson was always the one who had to listen to Holmes's spiel. And afterwards he always said, "Oh, Balderdash, Holmes," which is archaic English for nonsense. And we thought that was pretty cool because that's about what we thought of ourselves. And so we adopted that name and got into the local music scene, playing, other than the local neighborhood type things. And pretty soon we became friends with Jim Tarbell, and we had a concert set in addition to our cover tunes. And so we started getting work. And I guess you could say we were in the right place at the right time. So we opened at the Black Dome for the likes of Dr. John, Taj Mahal, several other bands along those lines, and then at the Ludlow Garage, we played with a lot of groups. There's so many that I have to get on their site to remember half of them. But we played with the Allman Brothers. We played with Captain Beefheart and the Magic Band, the Hampton Grease Band, which later became Aquarium Rescue Unit, and people like that, because Bruce Hampton was sort of a guru in Atlanta. And we met a lot of people and played with a lot of acts. We were on some of the large things. We played the Zoo with Paul Butterfield and Vanilla Fudge, Grand Funk, the James Gang, and we played together until about 73, I'm guessing, and the band split up, and we went our own separate ways, and resurfaced. And I played with the Mushroom Jones Band for a while, and High Wind was a band that some people might remember. And then I went into retirement for a while, came back, and we got Balderdash together again in 2007, and we've been playing. We got to play the 40th reunion of the Ludlow Garage, and we started getting phone calls after that, and we've been at it ever since. My favorite job that we played was with the Mothers of Invention on Mother's Day at the Schubert Theater. And that was pretty great because he had a great band. As usual, they were all great. And we got to meet those guys, not Frank, but we met with the other guys and had a nice little visit. It was fun. And then we heard the knock on the door, and we saw hands come into the door, just the hand and the finger going like this. And the boys knew it was time to leave, and that was that. But it's always a thrill to play with a band that great, and that was really a lot of fun. We opened for Taj Mahal once and this is interesting because he was not much older than we were, just kids, and he was a very young man himself, and we opened for him, and he liked us because we were playing blues, and he said, "I'm going to the Toronto Blues Festival, and a lot of the guys that travel with the blues shows around are singles, and they need bands when they get to town." I said, "I'll tell them to call you." I thought, that'll never happen. I was still living at home. And sure enough, the phone rings one day, and my mom comes out. She said, "Telephone's for you." So I went. We were out in the front yard, obviously. I went inside, and I get on the telephone, and it's Jimmy Reed. He said, "Well, Taj Mahal was playing up here. He said if we were over in Cincinnati, that you guys would be a good backup band for us." Well, we were booked, and we were booked out of town, so we couldn't do it, which killed me. But I would have loved to have done that job. But anyway, I thought that was really interesting that he actually told somebody about us, and that was pretty cool. And we met a lot of people, but none of which would remember us because they met so many people, and we met so few famous people that it's easier for me to remember than for them. But we had a great time, met a lot of people, played a lot of good music, and a lot of bad music too. But it was fun, and now all these years later, we got Balderdash together again. Very good band, and I'm blessed to be in the band and very grateful.